Hi, Grayson, Isley, and Atlas. I hope you had a wonderful day. Remember where we were in the story? We had gone through the stone arches while we were still on the Dug Mountain and ended up in the other country. And there on this great green meadow were castles and two armies about ready to fight. And remember, the boy came up with the cart with swords, and we took the swords in our hands, and as if by magic, we suddenly turned into knights, fighting knights with armor and a helmet and a visor and swords in our hands. So here we were on the battlefield, and we had the excitement before us of actually fighting in the king's army against the enemy. Well, we were a little scared, as a good soldier is before a fight. And we looked off in the distance and we saw the clouds of dust, because the bad army was marching closer and closer and closer. And we were part of the king's army, the king's knights. And we were going to face the bad guys and have a battle. Well, my 2 counselors and the 5 campers from the Red Fox cabin at Deerfoot, we all got down on our knees and we knew we had to pray. Because before you go into a fight, you better pray. You better have your real spiritual armor on. You can have all the knight armor in the world. You can have a real sword in your hand, but you need the sword of the Spirit. You need to be filled with spiritual armor. Your mom and dad will tell you about that as you get older. So we got down on our knees and we prayed and we said, "Dear Jesus, we got a big battle and we need your help. Please help us, protect us, and strengthen us so that we can have the victory over that evil army." Suddenly, we heard the trumpet. It was the battle call. We were being summoned into the fight. So we started marching. We got closer and closer, and suddenly, we met with the army. We started slinging our swords and knocking down people in our way. And we smelled the smell of battle and the dust coming up, and people were lying on the ground. We were getting tired. Suddenly, the bugle call to stop fighting. No more battle. We had won. We had won against the enemy. Our side was victorious. Up went the flag. The king's flag was flying over the battlefield. We all got together. We put our swords back on the cart, and the little boy took them away and went down the road and down into the valley. And as that boy walked away with our swords, we looked down and suddenly we realized we were back in our hiking clothes. No more swords, no more knight armor. We had turned back into 5 Deerfooters and 2 Deerfoot counselors. And before you know it, it was like magic. We were rubbing our eyes and we looked around, and there we were, right back on the Dug Mountain. We were right back in the woods, and there was the lean-to of the Middle Dug, only about 100 yards away. And there were our packs that we had hiked up the mountain with and put our lunches and our oranges in. And we all kind of pinched ourselves and said, "What in the world just happened? Did we wake up from some sort of a dream?" And we went to our counselors and said, "Please tell us what just happened. Were we really fighting in a king's battle in another country?" And the counselor nodded his head and said, "We were. by some special power, we were transported to another country, fought a battle, and then came back on the Dug Mountain. And I'll tell you what happened next in our next story. I love you very much, you guys. Have a wonderful sleep.